All right. Hey guys, welcome back to Sun Crypto. In today's content, we'll talk about BTC. We'll take a look at BTC on the macro view. Once again, we'll take a look at BTC on the monthly all the way down to the daily time frame, right? And probably the 6 hour down to up to the 12-hour time frame also. Okay, so we'll take a look at Ethereum, Luna, Gold, BTC chart, the total two, and we'll talk about BNB on the macro view. We nailed our last BNB bull run after we broke out just about like $40, $50. We were calling for like a $500 to $600 BNB. We hit that target. So we're going to be focusing on BNB on the macro reaccumulation. I don't think we will get any bull market for BNB within the next like a few months, but we will take a look at it in terms of reaccumulation for the for the next like a bull market and all that good stuff, right? So let's do a sound check, right? If if the sound is good, just typing 589, so I know this, so I know the sound is good. If not, just typing 71 cents. Hey, what's up, Hamza? Thanks a lot for tuning in. We got Craig in the house. Moonboy, thanks a lot for tuning in. We got Mustafa in the house, man. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Mustafa is ready to go to the moon and all that good stuff, right? Okay, 589. All right, Quiet Cook in the house. Thanks a lot, guys. So let's start off with BTC before we talk about alt and all that good stuff. Okay. So for BTC, I'm not gonna change the setup, right? On the macro view, I'm still going to be following the same macro setup. That way we all going to be on the same page regarding the monthly, right? Regarding the quarterly and all that good stuff, right? So let's take a look at the quarterly first, right? So when we take a look at the quarterly, what we've been saying over the last few quarters is like, if we take out 57K on a quarterly basis, we we could start to look for our next macro up target, all the way up to 180K. Okay, but in order to get to 180K, once again, we got to close, okay, above 57, right, on a quarterly basis. It could be sometime in 2023, 2024, we don't know. Okay, but whenever we close, if we close above 57K, bang, okay, it will be time to look for 180 to 100K and all that good stuff. Okay, the quarterly support, if you don't care about the monthly 21 EMA anymore, we talked about the monthly 21 EMA a few months ago, right, back in December, and we said we're going to be around the monthly 21 EMA, right? Sometime, I mean, we could be around the monthly 21 EMA about like 3 to 6 months. We just don't know, but we were just estimating the time frame, regarding the regarding how how long we're going to be around the monthly 21 EMA. Okay, so if you don't care about the monthly 21, now it is time to focus on the quarterly 21 over the next like a few quarters. It could be in Q2, okay, Q3, Q4, we don't know, but whenever we retest the if we retest the Q21, you got to basically pack your bags and start to look up, okay, and stop looking down, because some bears going to be calling like a lower prices once if we retest the quarterly 21. If you recall, back in 2018, okay, right here, I was very bullish on BTC, and back then I wasn't even trading BTC on the quarterly time frame, right? I was using like different indicators and all that good stuff, but you can see the confluence, right? So now it makes it very, very easy just to follow the macro view on a quarterly basis, based on the 21 EMA. Okay, back in March 2020, we retested it right here just by like a 4 to 5K. What happened after that? We pump all the way up to 70K, right? from 4K all the way up to 70K. So if we retest it right here within the next like a few quarters, I would say like maybe within the next like a 2 to 3 quarters. I don't think it'll take like a year to retest like the 211 EMA on a quarterly basis if we even going to retest it. Okay, so keep that in mind. That way you can sleep well. If BTC pumps like 5%, you're not going to be jumping and humping. You're just going to sit tight, relax, and take a look at your quarterly time frame and say, hey guys, we're still not at the quarterly 21 EMA. We're still like nearly over 50% above the quarterly 21, so I still got plenty of time to you know, for my next buy. Okay, remember the 21 EMA on a monthly basis is our first macro support, right? So you don't want to basically ignore the you know, the monthly 21 EMA. We'll talk about the monthly 21 next. Okay, so if you take a look at the monthly 21, you know what we said back in December right here after we flipped bearish, right? Especially on Ether. Okay, when Ether was like above 4K, we said Ether going to be dropping all the way down to its monthly 21, and Ether did that exactly. We'll talk about Ether on a monthly later on, right? So if you take a look at it on the monthly, the you know 21 EMA, it is holding pretty strong. Okay, and that's exactly what we've been expecting, and we've been saying like, okay, by the dip right here we could move sideways for the next like a few months and all that good stuff, and we could find a nice trading range, 20 to 25% trading range, and we've been killing it. Okay, between you know, 52 down to like 35, up to 43, 46K area, down to 34 again, and up again to a 46, 43K area. Okay, so next temporary support, it is going to be the you know, 30K support, right? And after that we got our monthly 50 EMA. Okay, right here. Okay, that's going to be the second stop right around like a 26K area. Okay, so 30K down to a 26 could be a trading range. We don't know. Okay, but we're just speculating. It could be the bottom, right? Depending on how, you know, how long it'll take to move sideways. Because if we move sideways for another 4 months, okay, in this range of 30K to 25, you got to think about it, right? Your quarterly 21 will basically join the party. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. You just have to try to front run the quarterly 21. That way, you know, if we don't retest like the low 20 and all that good stuff, right? You're still going to be pretty safe, right? Not basically going to be FOMOing and all that good stuff when we pump like you know, 3 to 5%, and you might be saying like, we're going to the moon and all that good stuff, and you're going to get wrecked, right? So now let's go back to the monthly. So monthly, just to summarize it, right? We at the monthly 21 right now. We've been kissing it over the last few months, right? Since like January, as you can see right here, a beautiful support, right? January, we said bought the dip, guys. Okay, buy the dip right here. We bought the dip right here in you know, in February, right after the Ukraine invasion, right? We got the bounce back up. Remember, back in February we bounced back up above the monthly open, right? The last day of the month, February 28th. Okay, I know Leroy gonna tell me February 30th, but it's okay. So we bounced back up, you know, and closed above like a 43. So I was like, man, that's pretty impressive. But we, you know, bears managed to dump back the price down to the you know, quarterly 21, and now we're retesting it. Okay, so it is getting very weak right now. We will see if bears will drag it down to the you know, all the way down to the 50, right? So now the next important time frame going to be the you know, 3 weeks 21 EMA. I know most of you guys familiar with the 3 weeks 21. So if you take a look at the 3 weeks time frame, okay, right here, you know, back in May, June, July, if you've been following Sun Crypto, what we've been saying was like, guys, it is a nice trading range, okay, between 41 down to 30K. So what we did was like just short, we were basically selling at 41, 42K area and just be buying back at 20, you know, 29 to 31 range. Okay, and that's the same setup we had right here, because we were following the same strategy we did right here. 42, right? 30K right here. We say 40. We said 43 down to you know, 33, 34K area, just about 10,000 point range. Okay, so now you can see like the difference, right? Not the difference, but the similarity, right? Right here, after the sideways correction, right, we pump to the upside, okay, in a very impulsive way. If you want to take a look at it in different time frame, okay, right here we move sideways, right? We could be following the same strategy right here. Instead of pushing to the upside, we could be basically pushing down. And once again, we below the 21 EMA on our 3 weeks basis. Okay, it is not confirmed yet. Okay, we will be going down, but as of now, our previous move was impulsive, right? We could be expecting our next move to be very impulsive, something similar to basically what we had right here. Okay, this one was a 100% move, so this one could be a 40 to 50% move depending on volatility, right? Because remember, you're going down, so you can basically dump like 100%, right? Unless you're holding an alt, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at the MACD. So if we take a look at the MACD on a 3 weeks basis, pretty clean divergence. Okay, price action below the 21 EMA. Let's take a look at it right here. So if you take a look at the 3 weeks time frame, okay, you can see that we got a clean divergence. Price action is what continuing to price action is below the 21 EMA. MACD, it is negative, so it is a bearish sign. Okay, I like to use it on a 3D basis to find like a top formation, right? Just like what we did with Ether, FTM, Atom, right? Luna, Near, and all that good stuff. We basically spotted those top formation based on the 3D. But with BTC, we're getting the same strategy on the 3 weeks basis, right? Meaning like a negative MACD and price action struggling to stay above your 3 weeks 21. Okay, so as long as MACD is negative on our 3 weeks basis right here, we're most likely not going to be in a macro bull run. So it is something you got to remember. Okay, it doesn't mean, once again, BTC cannot do anything crazy. BTC cannot do something crazy like moving sideways like that. But as long as MACD, right, is negative, right, I wouldn't care about like BTC like pumping too much, like let's say going back up to like a 40k, 42, 43, and all that good stuff. Okay, because the macro scale will remain bearish, right? So no need to be basically you don't need to basically FOMO if BTC give us a short-term pullback to even like a 44, 45, depending on volatility, right? I don't see it happening, but you don't know. Okay, you can never be so sure with this market. Okay, we just follow the directional trend, and the directional trend as of now, it is still down. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC in terms of RSI. The RSI, it is not giving us any reversal pattern. The divergence, it is still playing out, right? We did have our divergence right here, right? Price action made a new high right there back in October, November, right there. If you take a look at our our side right here, we did not even retest the top, so that was pretty bearish. And that's one of the reasons after we dumped below like a 52.7, I did not hesitate, right, to go bearish. If you guys recall back in December, what we said, we will take a look at the 3D time frame. Okay, it is a very simple strategy, right? It is sometimes boring, right? Because it can take like a 3 month, okay, to drop like 50%. But remember, you're talking about BTC. You're not talking about like, Dogecoin or something like that, pumping like 30% out of nowhere, 40% out of nowhere. You see what I'm saying? So, but if you follow the macro strategy, the macro setup, right, you're most likely going to be pretty successful with these 21 EMAs, on a 3 weeks basis, monthly basis, 3D basis, or even the weekly basis. Okay, if you incorporate it with your MACD and all that good stuff, right? So now let's go ahead and dive into the weekly time frame. So the weekly time frame, it's not looking good. Okay, that's the first time we've seen like BTC dumping like 5 straight weekly candles. Okay, I can even remember last time we got like 5 straight bearish weekly candles. That was, I don't know. Okay, I can't remember. Okay, right here we got 4. Yeah, so really, okay, give me guys 1 second. Yeah, let's take a look at it right here. So if you guys know, let me know. Last time we got 5 bearish weekly candles, right? So the most we seen over the last few years, is like 4 bearish weekly candles. Okay, I remember exactly the one we had back in 2019 right here that dumped from like a 10k to a 72 and got the 40% pump after that, right? Yeah, so that's going to be the first time basically we're getting, like, not the first time, but at least since if you take a look at it on Coinbase, since 2014 at least. Okay, I will take a look at it later on, prior to 2014. Okay, so the weekly time frame doesn't look so healthy. We're still above the weekly 100 EMA. We could get a temporary support at the weekly 100 EMA. Right now it is at 36.8. okay, I'm expecting a short-term support at 36.8. okay, short-term support at 36.8, give or take. Okay, we could follow the trend line support right here. The problem is like we don't know how long we're going to be staying in this range. Okay, we don't know if we're going to even get another push to the upside. That's why I'm saying, like, on a 3 weeks basis, right, even if we push back up and the 3 weeks MACD doesn't flip bullish, right, we're still going to be in a macro downtrend. Okay, because on the weekly basis or even like the lower time frame, we still got a channel right here. Okay, so something to basically keep in mind, just in case we basically retest, like, the upper level of the trend line within the next like a few weeks before capitulating down to the monthly 50 or even the quarterly 21. All right, so that's the only bullish setup I can find if we do not break below the weekly 100 EMA. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on a 3D basis. So when we take a look at BTC on a 3D basis, right, now we below the 200 MA, right, on our 3D time frame. If you recall, we talked about the 200 MA on a 3D basis, right, couple days ago, right, last week. We said if we break below it right here, that could be pretty nasty. Okay, and after that we could get a death cross. Okay, we could get a death cross after that. Okay, but the death cross is not approaching. Okay, we could, it could take like another 4 to 5 weeks before even we get another death cross. Okay, depending on volatility, right? Something to basically keep in mind, unless we get a premature death cross, right, meaning like we could get the dump before the death cross. Okay, that's the only way I can see us dumping before the death cross, right? So the 3D MACD, it is still negative, right? As you can see right here, we're still negative. And if we take a look at our 3D 21 EMA, right, it is still negative. So that's why, when we pumped yesterday, what I was saying was like the trend, it is still down. Okay, I know we pumped like 2,000 points yesterday, and I was like, okay, we just have to zoom out, right, and don't get too excited, because whenever BTC pumps like 2,000 points, 3,000 points, bulls gonna come out and say, hey, it's time to go to the moon and all that good stuff. Okay, and they're going to get wrecked long in above 40k. Right now it is very dangerous to be long in the market. I'm not saying you cannot make profits long in the market, but you will make safer profits being going with the trend. You don't want to fight the trend. Okay, so you're going to be making the hardest profits, right, going against the trend, but you're going to be making the easiest profits staying with the trend. Okay, so stay with the trend, and we talk about it like since like December, the first week of December, after we got the big dump right here below 52.7, and we said, as if we break below 52.7, let's just go, let's just stay with the trend all the way down to the monthly 21. Okay, and the only thing we're doing right now, it is just a flat correction, and we could get the impulsive move to the downside. Okay, depending on how long this guy wants to move sideways, but the directional move, that's the most important. It is down. Okay, you can get some noise in this range, but the direction is down. Okay, it is still down, right? Just like what we got right here. The entire correction right here, it is nothing but it is nothing but a sideways correction, right? Hey, what's up, Chani? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Hey, Yas B, thanks a lot for tuning in. We got Jude, XRP, Mr. XRP 589. Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. So Jude, let me know if you want me to talk about 589. I will talk about XRP. It's been pretty it's been pretty boring over the last few months, right? So not very exciting to be trading XRP, right? So now let's take a look at BTC on a daily basis, guys. So the daily time frame, I know some of these bulls, right, were anticipating a bullish crossover right here, but it failed. Okay, I did not mess with it. I saw the MACD trying to trying to flip bullish right here, but I did not want to take any chance. Okay, we were still below. We were still below the daily 21, so no need to be taking any chance, right, to go long right here. Just stay with the downtrend until at least we break above the daily 21. Okay, so as long as we below the daily 21, if you're trading the daily time frame, you don't want to be taking any risk. Okay, right here, what we did, we long. Okay, we went long on alt. If you guys remember the last week of March. Okay, if you guys remember, on NEAR, Balancer, Filecoin, ICP, and many other alt. Okay, we went long LRC, AKRO, right, and some other alt. Okay, I can't remember exactly. Okay, but we went long on this alt right after BTC confirmed the bullish push to the upside all the way up to 47. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, stay with the trend at least within the next like a few days until we basically take control of the daily 21. Some of you guys like these trend lines and all that good stuff. Right now it doesn't matter how you want to draw it, right? If you want to include your wicks or not, but it is below your trend line based on closing basis. Okay, if you want to use the daily time frame. If you want to include your wicks, these are not wicks at all. Okay, if you want to include your wicks, right, because they're only wicks on a daily basis, but they're not wicks on the 6 hour, even up to the 8 hour time frame, because we got some nice full body candles on the 6 hour time frame. Okay, right here back in January 24th, right, that was a full body candle. Right here, the Ukraine invasion, that was a full body candle. So you can't just call it a wick. Okay, it would be a wick, right, if it dumped like, let's say, 20% in 1 second and pump back up, right? But a 6 hour engulfing dump, it is not a wick. Okay, you can't call it a wick, right? So you just have to include it in your analysis, right? And we could get a temporary support. Yeah, we could get take a look at it. We just hit it actually. If you want to draw it like that, depending on how you want to draw it. Okay, it's close enough, right? It's close enough. Just in case we get a temporary bounce right here, right, on a daily basis, and push back up to the daily 21 EMA. Okay, so daily 21 EMA going to be your daily resistance, right? If it breaks it, you could be looking for your daily 100 EMA. All right, but remember the macro trend, it is still down, so you don't want to be too bullish, right? If we retest like the daily 21 and the daily 100 EMA, because you're going, it could be some shorting opportunities, not some longing opportunities. But we will take a look at it if we get there over the next like a few weeks or even few days, right? Few days or a few weeks, right? So now let's take a look at the 6 hour time frame. So 6 hour time frame, guys, most of the time I keep saying if we above our 6 hour 21 and MACD is bullish, right, we could be looking for some long position. However, in a downtrend, you got to be very cautious because we're in a bear market, right, or downtrend, whatever you want to call it, right? And the bullish divergence right here already played out. So the entire move right here, okay, was the bullish divergence. So if you guys recall back in December, right, we did have a similar pattern on a daily basis, right? Even though we just talked about the 6 hour, but I'm just going to show you what happened back in December, right? If you recall back in December, most bulls, was saying like, hey, we got a bullish divergence right here, right? Something like that. Okay, something like that. Okay, and if you recall, my thesis back then was like, yes, if you don't know what's going on, you're going to call it a bullish divergence, right? And remember, MACD was way up here. MACD was like that back then. Okay, so I was like, you don't know, okay, even though we got a flat bottom, you don't know if your MACD going to be flat. If you guys recall, remember, okay, that's exactly what I was saying. I was like, okay, the entire move right here, right, was the bullishness. So that pump, right, you got that pump from your bullish divergence, and that is it. You're done. Okay, you don't want to be looking for another bullish divergence because your MACD already gave you, your bullish divergence right here. So you don't want to be relying on anything else. Okay, let it just drip, right, because you got your flat correction, right, plus your bullish divergence right here. So the next thing you're going to be looking for, it is what? A dump. So don't rely on another bullish divergence, because that bearish crossover was a new trend, not a trend for a bullishness and all that good stuff, right? So now let's take a look at it on the 12 hour. So we could make the same thesis right here, right? And we could say, hey, the bullish divergence we got right here, right, that created that short-term pump to the upside. Okay, so after the crossover right here, the negative crossover right here, you cannot draw your line and say, oh, we got a bullish divergence. Okay, it's done. Okay, it's done. That trend is done. It's over. Okay, the entire move right here was a complete correction, and we could just say, hey, that move we're getting right there, it is a new trend. So don't use your MACD and try to draw a moon boy bullish divergence, something like that. Okay, as I just explained to you on a daily basis, right, back in December. So that's possible. Okay, so I'm not looking at it as a bullish divergence. All right, I'm not looking at the entire move right here as a bullish divergence. Okay, because you don't know if your MACD going to do something like that. What you're going to do? Okay, you're going to get wrecked if MACD going to retest the bottom right here. Are you going to still draw a bullish divergence like that? Yes, but you're going to be out already by then. Okay, so be cautious. Okay, let me just draw it like this. So let's say you got a dump, a pump, a dump like that, right? Your MACD going to do something like that. Let's see. Okay, now you got your divergence, right? You got your divergence. So your price action will retest the top, something like that. It could even break it if you're going to get an expanded flat, something like that, right? And after that, your MACD will give you another negative crossover, right here, and this guy is going to start to drop, right? So but it can still retest the bottom, right? And your MACD, it is a lagging indicator, so it's going to do something like that. You don't want to draw a bullish divergence like that, even though it is a triple bottom with a beautiful MACD, right? Divergence. You don't want to draw a divergence like that. Okay, you just have to be very cautious, because sometimes price action can dump below the support and your MACD going to get a triple bottom. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So be cautious with those like multiple divergences, within a sideways correction, right? So now we're done with BTC. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ether. So let me see if you guys have any questions regarding BTC, right? We talked about BTC on a macro view from the quarterly time frame all the way down to the 6-hour time frame, and let's take a look at the volume, okay? Before we go back to oh, take a look at NEAR. NEAR is down. NEAR is down, or is always NEAR dump all the way down to like a 12.5. I know Bear's gonna like that. Okay, so we talked about NEAR a couple of days ago, but we will go back to it, right? Let's take a look at the volume for BTC before we talk about NEAR. So regarding BTC, hold on guys, 1 second. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC regarding the monthly candle, okay? In terms of volume, okay? So we know we're going to get a big volume, guys. We've been talking about it. We've been talking about it like over the last few months, okay? We're still not getting it, but we will, okay? We will get a big, a big volume over the next like a few months, okay? So since like the volume is, since like the trend is down, right? We could say, hey, the volume could be red, but it really doesn't matter. As I said, it could be green or it could be red, okay? So the most important, okay, just to simplify the analysis, is like if we get a big volume, you better pack your bags and start like accumulating, okay? The reason why I'm saying it is like some of these alt will pump after BTC retest like the monthly 50. Right after BTC retest the monthly 50, you don't know which one of them will pump, but some of them will pump 10, 20, 30, 40x, okay, right after BTC, retest the monthly 50, and they're going to be cooling off like maybe like until BTC pump above all-time high, okay? And some of these alt, they will not break out until BTC breaks above all-time high. So you got to be very, very patient, right? I just don't have time to explain to you guys all that good stuff, but just remember, some of these alt will pump after BTC retest the monthly 50, and some of them will only pump after BTC breaks above all-time high, okay? But we will talk about it when alt season starts, and we're going to be focusing on those those little details and all that good stuff, right? But the monthly volume, keep an eye on it. As soon as we retest the monthly 50 with a high volume, you better either accumulate BTC or accumulate some alt, after that, okay? And few months later on, after that, we could be seeing like some macro breakout, right? Let's take a look at it on Coinbase. So if you take a look at it on Coinbase, you can see like the monthly volume back in 2018, how low it was. Okay, very low. Okay, and what happened after that, we dump below the monthly 21 all the way down to the monthly 50 right there. Okay, with a big volume. All right, so and if you even recall back in 2019, many analysts been saying, okay, the monthly volume is low, the weekly volume is low back then. Okay, and I was like, yes, the weekly volume is low, but volume is not a you can't look at volume as a linear something linear. Okay, it is not linear. Okay, for instance, you cannot like get like low volume forever, right? And you cannot get big volume forever, right? So right here, what I was saying, like, yes, volume is decreasing, but it is only a segment. Okay, and all of a sudden we're going to get a big volume, all right, to break the trend right here. So some of you guys been following me back in 2019, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I talk about it multiple times, right? So whenever you get a small volume, you're going to get a big volume to break the trend. Okay, for instance, right here, you got small volume, right? Price was increasing, right? That was a top formation. You got a big volume to break the trend. But take a look at it, right? From this point to that point, it wasn't like volume was just, pumping, over and over again, right? So we did get like some small segments, right? A pump, small segments, right? Pump, small segments, pump. Okay, so we're getting a small segment right here. We're most likely going to get a big volume, something like that, over the next like a few months, small segment again, and a big volume over the next over the next month following the next segment right here. Okay, so what we're looking at right now is a big volume right here, okay, to break the the downtrend right here, and we're going to get another downtrend and a big volume again. Okay, another downtrend and another big volume. Okay, that way you can draw a macro linear line, something like that. Okay, but you cannot just draw a linear line, something like that. Okay, you just have to use the picks. That's what you need to look for, these picks. Okay, all right. All right. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at Ether. We're done with BTC, right? So by the way, on the lower degree, we talk about these resistances, right? Daily 21 and daily 100 EMA. Okay. So daily 21, it is at 40.6, right? And daily 100 EMA going to be at 42.5, right? So not even sure if we're going to break the 6 hour 21. What, right here at 39.6 and the 100 EMA at 41. But I think like if we follow the daily 21, that's going to be okay also, right? You can either follow the 6 hour 21 and 6 hour 100 EMA, or if you want, you can follow the daily 21 or daily 100 EMA, because the volatility is low right here. So they're going to be, all of them going to be in the same range. So it really doesn't matter, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at Ether. So Ethereum, we're just going to keep it very simple for Ether. So if you guys recall, back in December, we nailed our Ether target, nearly over 50% dump right here, okay, from 41, 4200 range all the way down to like a 2200 range, okay. So and we called it, guys, we called it like over 60 days, not 60 days, but over 30 days ahead of time, okay. So we said we're going to be dumping probably all the way down to our monthly 21 EMA, okay, and we dump all the way down to a 2200 range exactly. So now, if you take a look at Ether, the only thing I was worried about regarding Ether was the 3D MACD crossing negative. Okay, not crossing negative. Now it is crossing negative, and you can see what I just tried to show you, right? That divergence right here we got right there. Okay, right? we got a double bottom right here. Yes, you did not get a 100% double bottom, but it was good enough to be called a double bottom, right? But you just got to be very cautious, all right? Because if we retest the range right here, let's say 23.25 again, people are going to be calling for a bullish divergence, something like that. Again, that's what I just tried to show you, right? And I just showed you most of the time every single flat correction will come with a bullish divergence, something like that. Okay, so you don't care about this move right here on your MACD. Okay, that's your bearish move. That's not part of your bullish divergence. Your bullish divergence was the double bottom. So the next MACD negative crossover, it is a new trend. Okay, it is a new trend itself. Even if it retests the bottom right here, it is still going to be a new trend. It has to create its own bullishness later on down the road. Okay, so that's why I'm saying, even if we retest like the mid 2500 range, 2450, 2550, you just got to be cautious, because bulls gonna be coming out and drawing some divergences and all that good stuff, right? So be careful. So Ether, got a clean flat correction with a possible negative, not possible, but we already got the negative crossover, so it is a new trend. Okay, so we got a similar move right here and we nailed it, okay, beautifully, right? As soon as we cross negative right there, cross negative right here, right, price action below the 21, refuse to stay above the 21, just like what we're getting right now on Luna. Okay, on Luna, Leroy is panicking with Luna, right? So, and all that good stuff, but Luna is printing the same pattern, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at Ether on the weekly. So on the weekly basis, you could keep it very, very simple. On the weekly basis, we below our weekly 25, we negative. Okay, we below our weekly 25, we negative. Okay, we above our weekly 25, we bullish. We above our weekly 25, we bullish. Okay, so if you're trading Ether on the macro view, you just don't have any business long in Ether right now. Okay, I'm not saying not to buy. All I'm saying is, you got to reaccumulate the dips. Okay, and once we get above the 25 MA over the next like a few months, you could basically just pack your bags and be looking to go to the moon and all that good stuff. All right, so Ether is not looking good in the short to medium term. Hopefully within the next like a few months, we can we can find a bullish setup as of now. Based on Elliott Wave, we got a 5 wave right here. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so excuse me, so the move right here, if we retest like a 1700 range, that could still be wave 3 and we can still pump to the upside, but we don't know how extended wave 4 going to be. Okay, just in case we get a a flat correction, expanded flat correction, something like that. It could be expanded, right? Or it could just be a running flat, doesn't break the lows right here, and we could be going to the moon. That's possible. Okay, that's possible. At the same time, okay, we could also say, hey, we already got our 5-way structure, so we don't know yet. We can't just say with 100% confidence level like we got that move right here going to be wave 4. We don't know. This move right here could have been basically, we could use it as wave 4 and that's our wave 5, and it could even dip much lower. That's possible. Okay, if we already created our 5-way structure. Remember, we're looking for wave 5 to the upside, but the move up to a 5K probably, okay, or possible, let's just say possibly, right, it is wave 5. Okay, and if for whatever reason we get a strong support at 1700 range, we can just change our count, right, and look for our wave 5 like that. Okay, so but we will talk about it. I just don't want to be too bearish or too bullish, right, on Ether. But one thing we know is, like, we're in a downtrend. That's the only thing we need to know right now. Okay, and we just have to look for the next support at 17 to 1900 range over the next like a few months, right? I don't think we will drop down to these areas, right? Like within the next couple of days. Who knows? But you just have to be ready. Okay. But we will talk about Ether in depth, right? Once we get more data, right? Because it is going to be fun to trade. I talked about it back in 2020. If you guys recall, if you can go back and watch my Ether 2020 analysis, not 2021, but 2020 analysis. I was showing you guys if we retest like the lows right here, Ether could be bullish over the next like a few years, because that could be our wave 3 to the upside. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. And I'll talk about it back in 2020, guys. January 1st, 2020. You can go back and watch that video, okay? It's in my channel, okay? So I think that is it for Ether. Let's take a look at Ether on a monthly basis, right? So Ether monthly time frame looks pretty good also, right? That's Satoshi calling. Hey Sat, let me call you back. So that was Satoshi calling, right? So he doesn't want me to tell you to buy Ether. He wants me to tell you to buy Ether. I mean BTC, not Ethereum. All right. So I'm just joking, guys. That wasn't Satoshi, man. Okay, so Ether on a monthly basis, it is following BTC for for some reason. Okay, we got multiple support at the monthly 21 EMA. If we break it, we got our July 2021 supports right there. Okay, we just talked about it. So in terms of moving averages, right, follow the 21 EMA, right, and your 50 EMA over the next like a few months. Okay, and if you don't want to follow your Elliott Wave, it's fine. You don't have to trade the market based on Elliott Wave all the time. You can trade the market based on based on other indicators and or based on other strategies and all that good stuff, right? But if you want to trade it based on moving averages, follow your 21 EMA and your 50 EMA, right, for the next like a few months. Okay, if we break the 21, you can wait for your 50 EMA. The 50 EMA right now, it is at 1532, but it is a moving average. Okay, so you can just go to sleep and put your orders at 1532, because just in case it doesn't retest it and push to the upside, because the 50 EMA could be even above $2,000. We don't know how long Ether will stay in this range between 17 to 2800 range. Okay, so based on moving averages, once again, 21 EMA and 50 EMA. No need to talk about like the 100 EMA, right? Because we don't even have one yet, right? So no need to basically even wait for it, right? But we could rely on it, right, within the next like a few years after that, right? Could rely on the 100 EMA. Hey, what's up, Cannibal Wealth? Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. All right, so we're done with Ether, guys. It's already 50 minutes, man. Okay, let's just go ahead and talk about BNB, right? Because I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to talk about Atom, Luna, FTM, and NEAR. If not, we talk about those. We will talk about those tomorrow. Or you can just go back and watch our previous analysis, because it is still the same, right? The setup. So you can watch my previous. I try to keep it very consistent, guys, with the analysis, because if I introduce like newer strategies, right? Some of you guys might be confusing and get confused and all that good stuff. But if we just stay with the macro directional move with our moving averages, right, and our different time frames we've been using, right, most of you guys will keep up with the macro view. But if we basically use like new indicators all the time, right? You're going to get confused, okay? You're going to get confused. For instance, if I talk about the Bollinger Band, okay, Bollinger Band, right? Or the you know, the Gaussian channel, okay, or like the Ichimoku cloud, whatever, okay, and all that good stuff, you might be very confusing. You might be like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on, right? But if you just follow one strategy, you're going to master your strategy, right? And you're going to be very confident with your calls and all that good stuff, right? So that's why I don't panic when BTC pumps like 2 to 3%, 5%, or even 10%, because I can always zoom out and take a look at the macro view and say, hey guys, we're still in a downtrend. No need to be panicking, right? So now let's take a look at BNB, right? So if you take a look at BNB, I like BNB a lot, and I talked about it back in 2020 regarding our macro target, right? If you've been following us long enough, join our public Telegram group. I said it when BNB was like, you know, somewhere around like $20, okay? And I updated it like, you know, December 17th, right, 2020. And I was saying like, guys, we could pump all the way up to like, you know, $275, $500, and $600, okay? We got all those targets in my premium group and all that good stuff, right? And BNB pumped, okay? And I said it on the 50-day cycle. I said, if we close a candle, okay, above $30, right, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. And that's exactly what happened. And I said it, guys, like, you know, back in October, the last quarter of, you know, 2020. That's when I said it right here. And we pumped beautifully, right? But that's not the topic, okay? The topic is like, if you take a look at BNB, you know, back in 2020, right? Let's do this. So if you take a look at it right here, back in 2020, our correction was like 83%, okay? You take a look at the, that's 2018, not 2020. The 2020 correction, we corrected again 83%, okay? So if we're going to expect like the same type of correction this year, it is not guaranteed, right? We will, it is not guaranteed like we will get the same type of correction, but we could speculate, okay? We could just speculate like, and say, hey, if we're going to repeat the same, you know, reaccumulation, macro reaccumulation, we could say, hey, if we dump 83%, right, that could be it. You got to be extremely bullish on it. It doesn't mean it will pump right after we drop like 83%, because you can see like right here, even after we dump 83%, right, it took like 3 months or 4 months before breaking above all-time high. Right here, it took like over 9 months, 11 months before taking out the all-time high. But the main thing you got to remember, if we drop 83%, okay, you just got to accumulate and wait for the next like a 6 to 9 months. And once we break above all-time high, you know we're going to be going to the moon. Okay, it could fail. Okay, it could fail. It could drop 90%, 95%. We don't know. But based on the previous price history, right, we could just say, hey, 83% down, right? That's going to be all the way down to like $120 to $100, right? You got to be extremely bullish on it, okay? You got to be extremely bullish on it, okay? But once again, BNB, it is still a good hold, right? But you don't want to be like all in as of now, you know, knowing like you could still, you know, get it like 50 to 60% or even 80% cheaper. As of now, it is at nearly 388. Okay, it is at 388, right? It is nearly 70% down, 70% dump. Okay, if we retest those lows. Okay, so if you take a look at it right here, back in March, we did dump like 73%. Okay, in 50 days, during the first 50-day cycle, dump like 73%, right? In one, you know, in a single month. So it's possible. I'm not saying it will, but you got to be ready for anything, right? So and once we retest these lows, right, we can basically reanalyze our macro target up to you know, 10K and all that good stuff, right? Possibly even higher, okay, depending on volatility, right? But if you buy BNB anywhere around like you know, $100 to $200. I mean, you don't even need to wait for like a 10K, okay? Maybe 5, 6K, 7K area, you want to basically, you know, pack your bags and wait for the next like a, you know, 18-month correction. It could go higher, right? You might get out at 5K and it pumps like to a 10K, but you know, you only basically making another 100% move. But you know, it could dump like 80% after that too, right? Pump all the way up to 5K and dump all the way back down to like 1,000. So you just have to manage the risk if we ever retest, like if we ever pump like to a 5K and all that good stuff, right? Assuming like you're going to reaccumulate right here and get a nice average, you know, above like let's say $150 to $200, it is going to be a good average, right? If you are looking to hold it for the next like you know, 18 to 36 months, right? Hey, what's up, Danny? Thanks a lot for tuning in, right? So guys, I'm just gonna take some requests and we'll talk about ATOM FTM NEAR later on, right? Maybe tomorrow, right? We'll talk about those coins, right? So I'm gonna take some requests. SLP did have a nice pump last month, right? I think February, right? What this guy is doing. Okay. Sorry with the let's do this. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at SLP. Smooth love operator. So what I've been saying regarding SLP is like just to accumulate between 40 to 20 sats. 40 to 20 sats. So right now we at 40 sats, right? So all the way down to 20 sats. And wait, okay? So it is at, you know, it is a support right now. So it could either double bottom or just pump to the upside. It could either, you know, gives you a double bottom right here and then basically pushes to the upside. That's possible, okay? Or it can just, you know, push from here. It doesn't have to retest the 23 and all that good stuff, right? But it's down. It's been, you know, it's been pretty, you know, it's nearly down like 99.9%, something like that, right? So yeah, actually 97. So 98% down, right? So, you know, if you accumulate between like 96 to a 98, you just don't have to worry, you know, regarding any downside potential. Yes, it can dump below 20 sats, right? But I wouldn't be accumulating like, you know, at 19, 18 sats. If it dumps like below 20 sats, you just wait for 10 sats, right? 5 sats and all that good stuff. So accumulate like every 50% dump, not like every 10% dump, okay? Because we got, you know, the potential to the upside is pretty big, okay? Even if you retest like 50% of the entire move, you're still going to make, you know, good profits if we go back up to like a 50% pullback, okay? Okay, if we go back to a 50% pullback right here, around like nearly 600 sats, right here. So you're looking at, nearly a 25x pump, okay, against BTC. And if BTC pumps like, let's say 10x, you're looking at like a 250% pump in USD. Okay, so it worth the risk. Okay, but once again, if it dumps below 20, just don't touch it, right, until it drops at least around like 10 sats. All right, guys, so I think that is it, guys. So let's go back to the chart. Yeah, keep an eye on NEAR, guys. Keep an eye on NEAR. We talked about it. It was a nice short right here, $14, 14.5 and lower, right? Looking for 10.5 to a 9.5. Okay, if you recall, our last NEAR setup was right around like a 10.5, and we pumped all the way up to like a $20. So that was a 100% pump. Okay, so and we got a nice distribution top. Did not basically pump to retest the top right there. Now it is dumping. Okay, so it could basically continue the downtrend. So FTM similarly, right? My only concern is like FTM could do something like that just to create a lower high, another lower high right there before retesting the low. So wouldn't be too bullish on FTM. If it pumps, it is still going to be a short for a possible retest of the low 70s, or even if we capitulate, could retest like a 50 to 55 cents, right? So yeah, that is it, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. Hey, Sen, can you take a look at Sol Razor? Okay, so Sol Razor pretty much similar to JASMY, just mine. All right, so you got your bear flag, right? Your initial impulsive wave, bear flag, another move to the downside. Let's take a look at it in terms of, yeah, same thing as SLP also. Okay, 97, 98% down. So you want to accumulate right here. Okay, you want to accumulate to so it is right around like 600 sats, right? So you want to accumulate between 600 sats to let's say 500 sats, right? So and just wait. It is 97% down, so it's nothing you can do, right? And wait for the next like a few weeks. We could get that first pump, so you want to get out if it pumps like 200%, 400% and all that good stuff, and wait for the retest. Okay, you just don't know how long it is going to be in this range before the next macro pump to the upside, right? But good level to be accumulating. Okay, it is always good to buy like at 95, 97, 98% down. You're not buying like after 100%, 100x move. Okay, something like FTM or like a some other alt. Okay, still up like over 100x, right? So all right, guys, thanks a lot for watching.